Well, this weekend was kind of a alternator fixing weekend. Came out here on Friday, I think it was, and we looked at my brother's car and it wasn't charging. So I checked all the wires and checked all the components, and it looked like the voltage regulator was bad. So I went uptown and bought another one and put it in, and it still didn't fix it. So I looked at all the wiring and decided, just to be safe, I'll rewire the whole thing, put all new wires in it, and it still didn't work. So at that point I figured, well, it must be the alternator, there's nothing left. So we went uptown and we bought another alternator, we put it in, and it still didn't work. So I did all the tests again, and we figured, it's probably the voltage regulator, that's all that's left. So we went uptown and we upgraded to a electronic voltage regulator, which we could do with this new alternator, which we couldn't do before with the old alternator. And we finally got it working. So that's one project done. Charges up good and works great. So once I get this plug I ordered for the voltage regulator, I can rewire the whole thing again, shorten up all these wires, and make it look pretty. And it'll work great. Also, I've been working on the Ford truck alternator that hasn't worked. Well, here's what's left from the alternator from my 1990 Ford F-150. That wasn't working. That was a problem. What used to be a diode rectifier is no longer, well, a diode rectifier. And I got pieces of it scattered everywhere. I got the stator over here, the rotors there. Had to take her all apart. And of course I broke this mounting bolt, both sides of it, on the bracket. So I found another alternator and basically made a good alternator out of two bad ones. It's got a different front end, but it works. Smog pump was out of balance, or wasn't lining up right, so I had to put another one on there. And well, now it should work. I'm going to go ahead and take this off, put this bracket back on the truck, and then put the alternator in. I broke the bracket in the process of getting it off, but that's no big deal. I had to drill and tap this hole here because that was snapped. I had to make a bracket to adapt this alternator in here. And I'm going to have to find a plug, because there's not one on the truck. I have one upstairs, and we have to cut it off the harness and plug it in there to make it work. But it's a little bit of wiring and a little bit of redneck engineering. I think I can make it work. Well, I found my wiring harness. It's off an 87 Ford F-150. And I'm glad I keep junk that I don't even think I'll use, because it comes in handy when I need it. I figured since I had this apart, I'd show you a little bit of what I did to get this alternator to fit in this bracket. Here's the bolt I broke off that was holding in the alternator to begin with. Luckily this has a couple of extra holes here, so I was able to mount this long piece into this hole here with this bolt. I didn't have one that was thick enough. There's a lot of play in there, so it won't hold the alternator. So what I did was I wrapped it with a little bit of electrical tape to fill the gap. And then on the other end, which bolts up here, I cut an electrical box cover in half and drilled a few holes. I'm just going to use that as a mount. This stuff's great because it's thin, it's light, but it's still strong, so it'll hold that alternator in there good. So I'll probably go out to the truck and see if I can't bolt this bracket back up, plug that harness in, and then throw the alternator on it and see if it charges. Well, there you go. As you can see, my alternator fix works. It's charging. I still got a brake problem. It's still stuck in four-wheel drive, and I still have no reverse. But at least my alternator works now, so I don't have to go back and charge the battery all the time. There you go, $0 fix. Nice. Starting to rain, so I better head in. But I like it. Works good. Got rid of that smog pump too. I mean, it's still there, but at least I don't have to deal with the hoses in my way. Awesome.